roster spot with Valentine down, so we'll just kind of play it by ear.
How much does Sewell need to practice at right tackle? I don't know if you've been doing that the last few days, but how much does he need to get some reps at right tackle?
Yeah, I mean he needs some reps there, but we've tried to do both. You know, we got walkthrough reps where he's taking some right, and then full speed reps as well. So we've tried to, you know, kind of tinker with it, but yet prepare for both ways, if you will. So. Yeah, I think he's a little further away. I mean, we got him back and he is practicing, but I think he's probably about a week out.
Just Corey going on IR, and it's Godwin get another chance back there. Or what are you thinking, kick return wise?
Yeah, Godwin and Tom Kennedy probably be a couple of guys we may take a shot at, see what they look like.
Just with the number of injuries you've had, I mean, is it all just chalk it all up for bad luck? Do you go back and look at any of the stuff you're doing in practice? I mean, how do you sort of assess what's going on?
I'm sorry, Sid.
Just how many injuries you've had? I mean, is it you just take each on a case-by-case basis, or do you go back and like reevaluate what you're doing Wednesday through Friday or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we look at everything, you know, and as much as you can. And I mean, we've looked at, you know, preseason. You look at the spring. I kind of feel like a lot of this is you know, where spring starts, and there's a reduction there that I think kind of sets things in motion one way or another a little bit. But we look at everything, you know, and we try to be smart by the numbers. I mean, we track everything here, and I pay attention to the numbers. So, but we're constantly looking to see if it's something we're doing or something we can do better. And right now, there's nothing that just stares at you and says that we're doing something wrong. But we'll look at all of it. He's better. He's here and he feels better, and he's going to practice today, so it should be good.
We've asked you a lot about the young guys and their development. How do you feel like this coaching staff has gotten better in the first 5-6 weeks of the season?
Yeah, well, we have, because it's, you know, first of all, just being able to work together and get through all these, you know, get through just all the ins and outs of working with one another, them working with me, you know, game day, and building game plans together, and you know, you figure a lot out about each other and what really, no different than players, but what the strength of your staff is. And, you know, some excel at different areas than others, and how do you blend that, and how do they complement each other? And so it's evolving, and you're figuring it out, and that's as big of a part of it as the players as well. So, and then inside of that, you get the injuries inside. You're kind of adapting to that and where you go. So it's you know, it's getting better, but it's a process.
Shortly after kind of the first wave of free agency, you talked about how you liked that you added a ton of guys with chips on their shoulder and things to prove. And I think Charles Harris is a great example of a guy that's kind of filled that, maybe Khalif Raymond. But have you got enough, I guess, response from those guys that maybe you were hoping for to start the season?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you nailed two of them. I would say Alex Anzalone is another one. You know, I mean, I think that's. Now, we traded for Brockers, but you can throw Brockers in there too. I mean, you know, now he's been a warhorse for a long time, but yeah, I think it's exactly those guys. In regards to that, I think absolutely, you know. I wish we had more of them, but yeah, they do. I think they've made the most of their opportunities, and I think they're steady performers for us, productive players, and so, yeah, and you hope some of these young guys are watching and learning. I mean, we're constantly harping on, man, look what, you know, this is what a pro looks like. This is how you prepare for a game. This is how you practice. And that's what we're wanting to, you know, eventually catch fire, and then it becomes, that's who you are. It's part of your DNA as a team, you know.
Yeah, I asked this, I think of Deuce yesterday, but as you look back at the start of the Bears game and some of the mistakes that you guys had, and the offense moved the ball with some of those mistakes, how much of that was due to, like, you know, carryover residual from the way that Ravens game ended, just that loss? And if that was the case, you know, how do you make sure that there's not that sort of hangover this week, I guess, from another?
Yeah, I mean, you address it, and I've addressed it. I mean, that is something we're highly sensitive to because we didn't play our best game, you know, and so yeah, we can't fall into that. You can't fall into that trap again, if you will. You know, you can't let that affect you. I mean, you got to go back to work, and it's all been said. But I mean, nobody cares. Nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody. All that matters is you win, and so, man, you got to go back to work, you know, and if we don't put in the same amount of effort that we did last week for this one and focus and everything to give ourselves a chance, then we won't have a chance against Cincinnati. And I do feel like they've done that this week. They've come back to work. But we've tried to, that's been a focal point this week, is we can't go out there and do what we get against Chicago, you know, so.
Last year's different. I was looking back at Cincinnati through Taylor's time there, and one of the youngest rosters in the NFL, and they lost a ton of close games the last 2 years. You know, 3 points, 1 point. Here, you're kind of going through some similar stuff here. They're now winning more of those games last week, notwithstanding. So, is there a point where young players kind of have to learn how to finish up games, and once they do, that can build momentum?
100%. I think you have to try to put yourself in as many of those situations as you can in preparation for games. But then, yeah, the only way to gain confidence is to prove that you can do it in a game and be there and have found a way to finish it out, because now you know what that feels like. You know what it looks like. You understand what the pressure is. And you overcome it. And you find a way to make that one extra play, or that one less mistake that your opponent made to win. So absolutely, you know, and you know, you're eventually trying to train yourself to find a way to win those games and to understand the pressure that you're put under to perform and not crack.
All right.
Okay, you got it.